Sunday update on I do the 28th of November 2021. For more updates please don't forget to subscribe. Ayan's residence, his mother asks Rashid about Dilshad having calls him back. He says she hasn't and it's been one full day. Shirin comes and disrupts them saying dinner's ready. The whole family, without Ayan, assembles at the dining table. And a small incident about disappearance of Malai kebabs made the previous night follows, which Razia had hidden, and Rashid's mother gets them out for the kids to eat. A taunting episode follows with the mother accusing Razia indirectly of having been behind this, which irks her so much that she finally accepts the crime just to shut her up, making up a feeble excuse for the same. They ask about Ayan, who has not yet arrived. Shirin asks the girls, but they don't have a clue. Mamujan arrives and they all get conscious. Ayan too arrives in a haste and says sorry to Shirin through the eyes. Ayan tells Nakat that gifts have come for her from the groom's side. Mamujan, while eating, talks to Rashid about the impending project and the reason of its delay. Rashid explains that's normal time that takes in formalities. He goes on to taunt Rashid that he gave everything to him after having established the empire, and this is the time for him to prove that he was the right choice to leave it to or not. Meanwhile, the girls are hurrying up with the dinner. Mamujan notices them and tells them to eat in patience. Ayan tells that gifts have arrived. Mamujan says that it's not becoming for their girls to behave like this for petty gifts. He retires having finished his dinner, and others too. In the middle of the night, Asad is astounded by a hand on his shoulder and he throws the person on the floor only to be confronted with her seeing that it's the same girl, Zoya, once again. Both are surprised to see each other and remember their prior meetings, and as usual start fighting with each other on petty issues and pecking each other. Nazma and Dilshad too come in and, realizing her mistaking the wrong room, takes her outside while Dilshad stays back with Asad to pacify him. Before leaving, Zoya accuses him of shouting and fighting with her whenever they meet. When Dilshad asks what it meant, he tells her about their meets and also that she is a very ill-mannered and arrogant girl, and had she not promised him he would have thrown her out. She tells him to relax as it's just a matter of some days, and then she would be gone. He agrees but asks her to tell Zoya to behave when in the house and also be mannered and get her suitcase out of his room. Dilshad agrees and asks him to chill. Seeing Ayan playing guitar alone out in the porch, Hamera joins her and discuss the day's event, and also Hamera is concerned if he is still mad at her for telling Mamujan that he scratched the car. However, after making up, they again engage in some harmless flirting where he jokingly proposes and she pretends to be very shy. Dilshad and Nazma are discussing how would Asad cope with this new entry in the house who he already dislikes. She also tells her that it's the same girl who ran away from her marriage. Nazma is shocked to hear this but is told by Dilshad to keep it a secret from Asad as he won't be able to digest this. Nazma offers to tell Zoya not to wear jeans in the house, but Dilshad stops her saying that they can't make guests bow down to their demands, and also this would be a lesson to Asad that whoever's different in their culture, lifestyle and clothing from them, is not necessarily wrong, and that he has to respect the other person for whoever he is. Rashid is awake in bed thinking that it's been 2 days since he called and this time unintentionally hurt Dilshad and lost her forever. He looks at his phone expectantly. Shirin wakes up and finds him with the phone and asks what is he looking. He says he was expecting a very imp call. She says don't fret over it, he can get it tomorrow. He comments that he Might never get it ever again, and puts Shurun off to sleep. Dilshad, out with coffee, in the porch, is joined by Asad, who can't sleep himself, and asks her if she's alright. She says she's been laughing. He says that all more reason to worry, as she laughs when she's upset. She tells him not to bother about her and instead asks about him, showing her concern that she doesn't like him staying in solitude all the time. Asad asks Dilshad to let go of her past and don't let it overshadow her present. She says it often happens that you start out for somewhere and reach elsewhere. That is what has happened to her, and the roads to her destination are now blurry, but she doesn't want the same for him and wants him to be happy and loving life. Asad says that he would accept everything that she has decided for her, but just on one condition, that is she lets go of the past and never let it enter her life again. She smiles and promises him the same. Dilshad and Nazma are at the breakfast table, hoping that his anger for Zoya would have died by now. In his room, just as if to negate Theo's conversation, Asad stumbles on the soda can that Zoya had kept last night, and his mood is spoiled. At the breakfast table, as usual, the perky Zoya wishes everybody and then looks around for her pizza slice that she has forgotten she kept on the bed. Dilshad and Nazma offer her something fresh and healthy so that she can enjoy the day, but she refutes their philosophy to eat fresh and healthy and shows them her own shortcut to enjoying life through a leftover pizza slice. She sits on Asad's seat reading the newspaper and terrorizes the other ladies, apprehensive about his reaction. He comes and shows the can to Zoya, and she asks him to throw it in the recycle bin. He tells her to do it herself, and she gets up. He sits on his seat. The other ladies are ostracized to see a girl behave like that. Zoya finds them arranging his breakfast place back into place. She asks him to get up since she sat there first. The others tell her that this is his seat. She does her routine poetry and sends them into splits of laughter, which immediately stops on his prying eyes. She sits down and constantly chatters on with Dilshad and Nazma, to Asad's frustration about her love for cricket and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Frustrated, he asks her to stop and let her read. Before they can start fighting again, he is interrupted by Ayan's call. He gets up to receive it, and the ladies can't believe it that the pizza slice she was looking for is stuck behind his pants. Meanwhile, unaware, Asad is talking to Ayan, who all the more irritates him with his poor poetry when he tells him to stop as he has had his dose of the day. Ayan is immediately concerned as to who replaced his copyright of poor poetry. He, however, on a serious note, tells Asad that Nikat's marriage is fixed, and Asad congratulates him on the same. He puts down the phone to find the ladies laughing at him, trying hard to control it. He has a questioning look in his eyes. Nazma tries but fails in courage. Then Dilshad comes and turns him around and takes the pizza slice off his pants with a jerk. This gets the girls into fits of uncontrollable laughter, but seeing Asad sternly looking at them, Zoya gets serious. Shireen talking to Rashid about Nikat's marriage and gifts that have come from the groom's side. Shireen tells Rashid to get thrice the amount of gifts to be sent to the groom family. Ayan asks Rashid when will he go to meet Asad, as he couldn't go last time. Rashid tells him that he will meet them when the right time comes, which he doubts will ever come. Ayan wishes for that time to come soon. Zoya is getting ready to go out. Asad offers her lift and she denies it and calls him incredibly foolish. This strikes him and he asks her what did she just say. She reminds him about what he had told her in the mall. The place where she'll be residing wouldn't be a place of decent people, and Asad reminds her the Same that even she had said that the place she is going to reside is where Bhopal's most decent people reside. Before they could debate further, Zoya makes an excuse that how hard he twisted her hand last night, it's paining her badly, and runs from there. Dilshad pities her, saying how poor Bechari, she got hurt, and Asad tells her that for God's sake please she isn't a Bechara at all. Ayan is confused whom should he go out with for shopping, and he calls Asad from the landline. He forgets the list and leaves the call on hold to get the list. Rashid, who passes by, receives the call, and their Dilshad picks up the call. Hearing each other's voice, both are again sentimental, but Dilshad cuts the call saying it's a wrong number. Hamera, Nakat and Nusrat are gossiping, and both the girls are teasing Nakat with her to be groom Imran and discussing their chemistry. Mamu Yan finds the girls together and asks them about their studies, where they all say it's going steadily. He asks when would Nakat's exam get over so that he can fix her marriage date. He asks about Ayan and gets to know that he is doing nothing but just fishing in, wasting his time. He is angry to see Ayan's irresponsible behavior regarding his future. Shireen tells that she was very confused of what to be made for lunch that day and is happy that her son is getting her some fish. Fishing for Ayan is flirting with girls. Ayan, with his charm, tries to flirt with a girl but in unsuccessful. He, while walking, throws a Coke can, which hits Zoya on her foot. She is now on her mission to teach him a lesson. There Ayan is following the same girl, and here Zoya finds a lift which is similar to a Qatari Fatfati bike. Asad in his office is busy handling his files. He calls in for his employee, and he's none other than Akram, Zoya's ex-fiancé. Asad congratulates him for his wedding and finds out that he was ditched by his bride on the marriage day. This bugs Asad off, as he thinks if the girl wasn't ready then she should have rejected before the marriage rather than insulting both families on the big day. Asad is unaware that the girl is Zoya. Zoya on the Fatfati bike is asking the biker to ride fast and follow the guy, Ayan. She taunts him that he is riding so slow that the guy will run away, and this bugs the rider, and he asks her to talk properly and respect his vehicle as it is their family member since 25 years, and she apologizes. Soon she finds Ayan and tells him to stop his Fatfati. The man asks her to again apologize, but she has already got off behind Ayan. Ayan, who follows the girl, finds her and sits with her for coffee and flirts with her. Zoya throws the Coke can on Ayan's face, making him fall off from the chair. Angry Ayan, when gets up, finds that it's none other than Zoya who did that, and Zoya is also shocked to see Ayan. He tells her that he wouldn't leave her as because of her he has been beaten up twice by goons and also his brother got injured, whereas Zoya tells that who other than Ayan could have been the one to throw litters around and spoil the environment. She exclaims that Bhopal's bad things happen only because of him and no one else. She calls him an idiot, kicks his foot and runs away. Ayan is shocked with this.